expected to arrive in the country tonight at exactly 9 p.m. Let's now talk to a senior political and parliamentary affairs, Patrick Amimo, joining us from a city centre studio. Patrick Amimo, good morning. So yesterday, the government, through the spokesperson, said that Miguna will be allowed into the country. But this morning, there are allegations that a red alert has been issued, barring Miguna from leaving Germany to come to Kenya.
Those are the developments that the country is waking up to, and Miguna has been quoted in a section of the media saying that that red alert has been issued, and that is coming from the office of the president. It is that from that red alert, it said that the Lufthansa Airlines was instructed not to have Miguna board the flight to any country in Africa or even Kenya. So the airlines had said that they were waiting for official confirmation from the government whether they will be allowed to have Miguna board the flight. And by the time when he was making that particular statement, it was already remaining, it was before 9, and he said the first flight was to take off by that time, the flight that he had intended to book to Nairobi, JKA. So if that particular matter had not been cleared, or maybe if the government had not given the airlines that green light that they should facilitate Miguna's travel, then he could still be in Germany as he awaits the facilitation or processing of that particular communication from the government on whether he should be allowed back into the country or not. This particular matter, it's in compliance with the court orders which issued on December 14th, 2018, where the High Court said that Miguna should be given back his travel documents, including the passport. And we saw just the other day, Justice Weldon say that Miguna should be allowed into the country, even using his identification card. That was his lawyer, John Hamino, was to facilitate the process together with the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. This particular matter, we saw the president pronounce himself on it on 30th December during the burial of that second liberation hero, Charles Rubia, when he said that he's had was information that Miguna was trying to come back to the country, and he said he should be allowed back with unhindered. He said the government was ready to protect the freedom of expression, and Miguna and other people were free, and Kenyans just to make use of the 2010 constitution to make their freedom of speech. But then he said it would have been better if such freedoms were used to fight corruption, encourage things to do with national cohesion, and also foster unity in the country. So it will be interesting to see how this particular matter goes, because Miguna was deported first in February 2018 after the mock swearing in of Raila Odinga as the people's president, an event that happened at Uhuru Park on January 30th, 2018. This was a time when the country was at tenterhooks, where the opposition leader Raila Odinga also trying to lay claim to the presidency, coming after that second presidential poll that was held on October 26, 2017, an election that Raila Odinga and NASA Brigade boycotted, claiming the playing field was not even. That then necessitated Miguna swearing in Raila Amolo Odinga as the people's president on January 30th, 2018. Ever since we saw on March 9th, 2018, Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta shaking hands, and that brought through that peace pact, with now that we are talking matters BBI, that is now on the second phase. But then it will be interesting to see, because from the Director of Immigration, it's like he indicated Miguna will be allowed to travel back into the country together with these documents. But then from the said red alert that is coming from the office of the president, then it appears that matter is yet to be settled. But from the look of the things is that the government spokesman had said that Miguna will have his travel documents processed. He's now traveling, I suppose if he travels to Kenya, he's using his Canadian passport. He's a dual citizen, having been of having stayed in Canada where he was practicing law. He contested as a governor for Nairobi in the last polls, but then following that controversial swearing in of Raila Odinga, that's when trouble hit Miguna, and it was deported out of the country on February 2018, and on his return again, his second deportation in March 2018 saw him deported to Dubai. He claims he was sedated by the security agencies before he was put into the aircraft and dumped in Dubai. So he had already said that he'll be traveling back today by 9:25. His flight was expected to land at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. So we'll be keen to see from the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and his lawyer, John Hamunwa, on what next, whether Miguna will be traveling today or whether his travel has been blocked.
All right. And Amimo, lastly from me, if Miguna is indeed, barred from boarding a connection flight to Nairobi from Germany as alleged, this would not be the first time that the government is going against a court order that has been issued when it comes to Miguna. But my question is, why the change of mind last minute? Because yesterday, all indications were that Miguna is free to come back home. And that is the same statement that President Uhuru Kenyatta issued during the burial of Charles Rubia.
It appears to be a battle of wits here between Miguna and the government, because when the last time we saw, the government was very, very eager, and they used all force at its disposal to ensure that Miguna was deported out of the country. A country he claims is his country by birth. He says his parents are here, his grandparents are here, and he said it was very unfair for the government to deport him to a foreign land, and he wants to come back to his homeland. We've seen, yes, the government has been saying that he is free to come back, but then with that alleged red alert, it appears then there is a ping pong here, because according to Miguna, he says that even the airline Lufthansa was said he should not even take him to any other African country. So he said that it's like he's now stranded in Germany, having left Canada. So it is something that we'll be seeing how the government reacts to it, given that they had initially promised that Miguna will be allowed back with little drama, as it were, when he was being deported out of the country. But now, from the look of things, then it's like there is a drama unfolding now. Also, maybe putting to question why the government has failed to obey court orders, as it were, or issued way back in 2018, December 14th. So it's not the first time that we've seen the government defy court orders. It's been a tradition, but then for a country to appear to be observant of the rule of law, then I think it's good to have at least those recommendations that come from the courts are implemented by the various institutions, and also those particular individuals that are meant to use those particular orders also comply with such orders. So that is a red alert, has been said. We'll be waiting to see what comes from the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, because when Miguna was deported, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights was mandated by the High Court to ensure that Miguna returns to the country safely. So the Commission, as a government watchdog on human rights matters, is also embroiled in this particular matter, and it will also be doing its effort to ensure that the court orders are complied with. So it's something that we'll be following up on to see how this particular matter goes, because if there appears to be a pull and push between the judiciary and the executive on this particular matter with regard to Miguna's return into the country at a time when the country is talking about the Building Bridges initiative, a matter that maybe saw him expelled out of the country, having the two leaders, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, having struck a peace pact on March 9th, 2018, and allowed the country to get back to its feet. So we'll be keen to know why the government is really blocking Miguna's return. But that one, as it were, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and the courts will be there, because Miguna says his lawyers are going to the courts to get further orders on the way forward. Brenda.
All right, thank you so much, Patrick Amimo. It is such an interesting turn of events right there because Miguna was expected to jet into the country tonight at around 9:25 p.m. But let me just, read for you what the government spokesperson, Sarah Suguna, had said yesterday. He said that Miguna is free to travel to Kenya on Uhuru assurance. Foreign Affairs Ministry is to handle the red alert that was issued. That was back then when Miguna was being deported to Canada. So he said that the Foreign Affairs Ministry was to handle the issue of the red alert, which I think or believe that that's the same red alert that needs to be sorted out. That's probably barring Miguna from boarding a connecting flight to Nairobi from Germany, specifically Berlin. It is a developing story right there. We'll continue giving you the latest update as and when we get it. Just remember that this red alert was issued by the Kenyan government when Miguna was deported to Canada in 2018. That was when Miguna